Alrighty, so we should now be live on YouTube here. We are doing an emergency severe weather update as we currently have a destructive storm right now in Kentucky. This is only warned for quarter-sized hail. However, I did get a message that this has been upgraded to destructive. I'm not necessarily sure if that's true or not, but either way, this is still a very large hail. Oh my goodness, that was a horrible voice crack. This is still a very large hailstorm here in eastern Kentucky right now, moving into western sections of West Virginia. So if you're in this area, make sure that you're seeking shelter immediately. Make sure that you're getting away from windows, because even though this is only warned for quarter-size hail, it is very likely that we're experiencing up to tennis ball, potentially even up to baseball or large apple-sized hail in this hail core here. You can also see we've got a hail spike on the radar, which is a feature that happens where the radar can't penetrate through the hail because it is simply just so thick and so dense. So this is a very significant situation here approaching Milton. Again, if you're in this area, make sure that you're moving indoors and away from windows. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I did think that it was a destructive storm because that's what Vincent texted me, but anyway, what can you do? You know, again, this is a very large hailstorm either way, and if you're in this area, you should take this very seriously. Give me just a second here. Again, how's everybody doing today? Let me know where you're tuning in from. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning currently for portions of Scioto, Adams, and Greenup counties, and then the destructive severe thunderstorm that we're looking at right now on radar. This is for portions of Gallia, Greenup, Lawrence, Mason, and Cabell counties along the Kentucky-West Virginia state line. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. Again, a very large hail core here associated with this severe thunderstorm. The reason that we're saying stuff like this is because the lapse rates in this area are skyrocket high. I mean, these are very steep lapse rates. Again, we're dealing with an environment where we've got a lot of cape. We've got ourselves a decent amount of lower level wind shear. It's still not great, but it's enough to work with for us to see significant severe thunderstorms and get, again, potentially even a couple of tornadoes here as we go into the evening and nighttime hours tonight. So again, if you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning here, make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. Let me go ahead and pull up stream chat. Again, if you have any questions about your location, make sure to leave those all down below. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Yeah, this kid texted me. He said, destructive in Kentucky, and then he lied. That's crazy. So anyway, again, we're continuing to watch this hailstorm get more and more impressive, actually, on the reflectivity. Again, this is a huge hail spike. This is honestly one of the more impressive hailstorms that I've ever seen in Kentucky, I'll be honest with you. If we take a look at the vertically integrated liquid signatures, we can see that it's maxed out on a huge swath there. All those areas there highlighted in that gray shaded region, we typically like to believe are areas where we're currently seeing quarter-sized hail or larger fall across that region. Again, this storm has been going for quite a while now. This developed a couple of hours ago near the Cincinnati metro region and just gradually grew until it got to this point where it is now a huge hailstorm, again, that has destructive potential with it. So if you are in this area, you do need to make sure that you're getting indoors and away from windows immediately. Again, I'm not too sure why this is still warned for quarter-sized hail. I guess probably just because there's no reports being sent in at the ground, but still very impressive hail core here with this thing. So if you are in this area, we do need you to be moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Now, this is going to be approaching the general area of Charleston, West Virginia over the next hour or so. If it stays on this track, it will go through the downtown area most likely. So if you are in Charleston, West Virginia, you need to make sure that you are prepared to seek shelter if necessary, because there is a good chance that we're going to see this hail core continue to grow and grow in an environment like this. And we could even see some rotation develop with this severe thunderstorm here. Again, we can't really see anything on the velocities right now. And even if we do start to see something pop up, it's probably going to be very heavily contaminated because we're dealing with such thick, dense hail in this storm, but still pretty impressive. Give me just a second here. But yeah, I mean, we were going to go live at some point today no matter what, so the fact that it's a little early here isn't a huge deal. Again, if you are out here in this area, we need you to make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. as there is actually a pretty good chance that this hail core, again, is producing some stuff that is likely larger than quarter-sized hail. I would not be shocked to see this severe thunderstorm warning get an upgrade here pretty shortly. Again, this is in the National Weather Service, Charleston, West Virginia area, so we'll see what happens. Well, significant hailstorms can still rotate and produce tornadoes and funnel clouds occasionally. And for anybody that's not aware, we are expecting several supercells with tornadic potential to develop across sections of eastern Kentucky and western West Virginia here over the next couple of hours. If we take a look at the 19Z run of the HRRR model here, we can see that those supercells are mainly going to be tracking east-southeastward, so areas in between Richmond, Kentucky, and Charleston, West Virginia is where we think we're going to have the greatest tornado threat for tonight. However, they're not going to be very discrete supercells, so while we could see a couple of tornadoes potentially, they're likely not going to be too long tracking, and we actually could see a couple of QLCS tornadoes later tonight here in West Virginia embedded in a line of storms, but if this happens, it would likely be very weak. However, we definitely still do have that chance of a couple of brief tornadoes out there tonight in the Appalachian region. Again, we were expecting this to be a more significant threat yesterday than what we're thinking it's going to be now, but still, we're going to watch out for this because this is definitely a pretty impressive looking threat here across sections of Appalachia as well as the mid-Atlantic area. So, again, if you are in this area, make sure that you do have multiple ways to receive alerts tonight. We do have a few reports of hail from a couple of severe thunderstorms near the Cincinnati metro region. Again, now a couple of half-dollar-sized hail reports coming in there near Independence. This was from our storm that we had moved through this area about an hour ago that's currently severe thunderstorm warned over the Portsmouth area. So this storm also has a pretty impressive hail signature with it, but keep in mind, it's less impressive than the one off to the southeast. So if this storm is producing hail up to half-dollar size, I can only imagine what this storm further off to the east-southeast is doing. It's very likely that we're seeing hail potentially of baseball size or larger with this storm as it approaches Charleston, West Virginia. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you are prepared to seek shelter if necessary. Again, make sure that you're bringing your cars into the garage, everything like that. But again, we're going to continue to watch some of these supercells here develop right up along the Ohio River. We actually do have some rotation developing here. It is somewhat contaminated, but it looks like we do have some very real rotation developing near Portsmouth, right up along the Ohio-Kentucky state line there. So if you're in this area, prepare to seek shelter if necessary. We've got a pretty impressive looking area of inflow there on the radar, but again, quite contaminated there. A lot of large hail interfering with our radar coverage in this area, but very possible that we at least have some elevated winds associated with this severe thunderstorm, and it's entirely possible that we do see this produce a tornado within the next hour or so if things continue to intensify. So we'll watch this storm quite closely. Again, that rotation, they're pretty contaminated, but we're still going to watch out for this. Yeah, you can see the hail there on not only reflectivity and the vertically integrated liquid signatures, but also on the correlation coefficient. Again, this is a huge hailstorm over the Crown City area, and this is going to be approaching downtown Charleston, West Virginia in the next hour or so. So if you are in Charleston, make sure that you are prepared to seek shelter if necessary. Make sure that you're bringing your cars inside of the garage now and not waiting until it's too late, because this is the kind of storm that is likely going to shatter windshields and windows of your house. So again, make sure that you're playing this safe here. This hailstorm is continuing to ride down I-64 here, so if you're in this area, again, make sure that you are prepared and seeking shelter if you are included in our severe thunderstorm warning here. At this point, the main areas where we're going to be watching for significant hail threat are going to be Crown City southward. There's that chance that we do see some smaller hail up towards the Ashton or Apple Grove area, but the greatest hail threat is likely going to remain further down to the south, where we start to see some of those blue pixels pop up there on the reflectivity. Now, they did just condense this severe thunderstorm warning. It is still only warned for quarter-sized hail. I mean, that is actually crazy. I can't believe that. I mean, this is the most impressive severe thunderstorm hail core that I've seen for only being warned for quarter-sized hail probably of all time. Now, this is not destructive. I updated the title. It doesn't say destructive anymore, but if you want to know why it said that to begin with, ask Mr. Storm. So again, they have now added the tornado possible tag to our severe thunderstorm that has developed some rotation near Portsmouth, Ohio. So again, if you are in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows. Make sure that you're prepared. Again, we are watching some rotation that is developing right now off to the northwest of Portsmouth, and this is going to be entering the downtown Portsmouth area within the next 20 to 25 minutes or so. I would not be shocked to see them put out a tornado warning for this if this continues to intensify like it has been. So again, make sure that you're prepared to seek shelter shelter if necessary, because this is a nasty severe thunderstorm with some pretty great capabilities. So just above my head there, you can see that we've got our sub-count. Subscriber goal for today is 3,990. If you haven't already, make sure to click that sub button. We do this every day for areas all across the country. We do severe weather coverage, hurricane coverage, winter storm coverage, and we've been forecasting this event for days. So, again, everybody out here should have been given the best heads up possible. And, again, if anything, we probably overhyped this one a little bit, because yesterday this event was looking like it was going to be a lot more impressive than it is today. But there's still that chance that we do see a couple of tornadoes, especially across sections of what I would say is kind of east central Kentucky. I've seen a lot of different opinions say a lot of different things, but in my opinion, if there is still going to be a tornado threat for tonight, it's going to fall somewhere in eastern Kentucky or maybe far western sections of West Virginia, because we're going to be watching out for that here pretty soon. Actually, they have issued a severe thunderstorm watch for this area, which I do believe is the right play. Very large severe thunderstorm watch in effect from sections of far southwestern Pennsylvania all the way back through central parts of Kentucky. This kind of covers the entirety of our risk area today. I'd imagine we're going to see a new severe thunderstorm watch come out in a couple of hours or so for sections of the mid-Atlantic region, as eventually later tonight we are going to be watching for some of these supercells to track into the Washington, D.C. metro area, mainly bringing along a wind and hail threat at that point, right? So, again, currently watching our supercell north of Portsmouth, Ohio, for a pretty intense threat here of rotation. Again, we've got that velocity couplet there on our velocity, our heart resolution model. I am just having crazy voice cracks right now. But again, this is going to be approaching Portsmouth and New Boston over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So if you are in this area, make sure that you are prepared to seek shelter if a tornado warning does get issued. This is the first storm of the day that's really shown any tornadic potential. Again, we were expecting things to kind of get going around 3 or 4 p.m., so we're kind of just about on time here as we watch these significant severe thunderstorms tracking right up along the Ohio River at the minute. Again, I'm almost more concerned about our big old hailstorm here approaching Charleston, West Virginia, because obviously Charleston is a metro area, and this is a underrated large hailstorm here, most likely, by the National Weather Service. I mean, even on this news scan here, we've still got, DBZ values up to 78 appearing on the reflectivity, which is something that you usually see with hailstorms that are producing at least tennis ball to baseball sized hail. So again, with a hail spike like that as well, I mean, I am almost certainly convinced that this is a destructive hailstorm here approaching hurricane in Charleston. So if you are in this area, again, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Your birthday's in 8 days. Happy early birthday, Evan. What's up, Weston? Now, we do have a couple of thunderstorms developing back here west of the Cincinnati metro region, but these are likely not going to show quite as much of a tornadic potential or even really a severe threat with them, because what we're dealing with in this area is a lot less instability at this point. The main area of moisture and instability that we're dealing with comes across the eastern section of the Ohio Valley here. Again, lower level wind shear is really not going to be enough to support severe thunderstorms on their own today. They're going to have to end up, again, seeing that overlap between shear and cape, because our wind shear values for today are really not super impressive. If we take a look at the bulk shear in the first kilometer of the atmosphere, we can see that we're dealing with just over 20 knots being the peak as of right now for this event. Now, again, obviously, we're going to see those values increase as we go later into the evening time hours and these supercells become more mature, but still really not getting any higher than 30 or 35 knots in the greatest area where we think we're going to have any sort of tornado threat, which is going to be the main limiting factor here on any sort of tornadic supercell that does try to develop tonight. But again, we do have some decent instability values out there today. This is what our cape is looking like at the minute. If we pull up the surface-based cape values here on the HRRR model, we can see that we are dealing with cape values at 1 to 2,000 joules per kilogram, potentially even a little bit over 2,000 joules per kilogram of cape in some localized regions in southern Kentucky there, which, again, obviously in that region we're not going to be dealing with quite as much wind shear, and the convection is going to be a little bit more limited, but still, if we do see any tornadic supercells develop down here in the Somerset, London, or Corbin areas, I would not rule out an isolated tornado with those, as that does appear to be the kind of prime area for our cape values for today. Now, again, we're mainly going to be watching a little bit further off to the east of that, because that's where we have the best cape wind shear overlap, and also that's where we're going to end up seeing discrete supercells if they do develop. But again, I'm not totally on board that these cells are going to be entirely discrete, and the models aren't either. The HRRR model does have a couple of discrete supercells potentially getting going across sections of eastern Kentucky there, but still, really not anything super impressive. So anyway, zooming back in here on our large hailstorm that are approaching Charleston, we're likely going to see a new severe thunderstorm warning get issued for this shortly, as this thing has had a crazy looking hail core for a while. There's a bunch of red lines on the left side of the screen. There's red lines for like the overlay. Let me know if there's anything else, but there shouldn't be any like weird red lines that are covering anything. But yeah. So again, we're gonna... Why are you spamming elevated? Holy cow. Nobody said anything about rotation. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that there should be any broken red lines. The first thing bro does whenever he gets in here is spams elevated. So our hail core here, even though the DBZ values are getting less impressive, part of that is likely due to the fact that we're getting closer and closer to our radar sites. That does happen. But still a very intense hail core here approaching the Hurricane Kentucky area. And again, if this does cross the river here, it is going to make its way into West Virginia and approach the Charleston area. So we'll see what happens. Again, this is tracking a little bit further off to the south now, so it is very likely that this would go very close to downtown Charleston, West Virginia, or just slightly off to the north of it if this supercell does continue to develop further. But anyways... looking back up on our supercell near Portsmouth, again, some very broad rotation there northwest of Portsmouth, Ohio at the moment with that supercell. Again, PA Storm Trackers is actually on our severe thunderstorm, I believe, right now near Crown City. Again, we have gotten their permission to use their feed for this live stream. They are currently out there in West Virginia, I believe, right now, right up along the West Virginia-Kentucky state line in the Huntington area, tracking down this severe thunderstorm. So we'll kind of see if they get any hail on their feed over the next few minutes so we can give you guys kind of a surface report of what's happening. But again, I did message them last night. Again, we have gotten permission to use their feed for today. As always, go subscribe to PA Storm Trackers if you have not already. I don't know why the donation board says $75. Did not mean to do that. Oh, what do they have right now? What is that? Wow, look at that. They've got some hail right now. So again, they are on that severe thunderstorm. They've got some huge hail. Wow. I don't know if you guys saw that, but there are some big-time hailstones there. Again, just above the sub-count there is where that's at. They've got some big old destructive hail there, right up along the Kentucky-West Virginia state line. You can see it covering the roads. Let me actually go ahead and make a solo tab for PA Storm Trackers for whenever we need to bring them up full screen. You know what, I guess we could kind of just do things like this where we copy and paste this all into a new scene. Oh my goodness, that is disgusting. I'm so sorry. Let me get a Kleenex real quick, guys. Alright, sorry about that, chat. That was one of the more gross moments that we've had on stream. If you don't know, I've been a little sick recently, and I'm kind of just now getting over things, so excuse me if I clear my throat a little much, or if stuff like that happens. I'm going to try to avoid that, though. Again, give me just a second here, guys. We're going to try to make it so that you guys can see a full-screened PA Storm Trackers tab here for when it's necessary. So we're going to do it like this. Again, one would say I should have set this up before the stream, and you'd be right. But if you've been for this channel here for a while, you'll know that I'm not the smartest fellow. And I also was not planning on going live yet, but Vincent pranked me. Hashtag blame Vincent. No, I'm kidding. But either way, again, Supercell's definitely getting going. Again, the one you're approaching Charleston, West Virginia, has a pretty crazy-looking hail core with it at the moment. Again, even though it's only warned for quarter-size hail, it's likely just due to the fact that we haven't had a lot of surface reports. We see on PA Storm Tracker's feed, there's been hail that has likely been much larger than quarter-size already in this area. So, alright, there we go. There's the PA Storm Tracker's feed, so we'll go back over here to the live screen. Alrighty. Thank you, Mr. Twister. I will pin that. No, bro, I don't care. I mean, it sounds like something I would have done. I'm just stupid for instantly going live after I saw that. But what's up, South Pacific Storms? Look at that. Again, just above the sub count there. We're going to full screen this again. PA Storm Trackers has some huge hail right now. Again, look at that. I mean, that is probably up to golf ball-sized hail right now. So, even though this storm is warned for quarter-sized hail, we know that this is huge. So, if you're in this area, again, make sure that you are getting indoors and away from windows immediately. Again, this is PA Storm Trackers. I mean, this is huge hail. I literally said last night, I was on call with Levi, I was like, if they don't add a hatched hail risk for tomorrow, they're cooked. And this is exactly what happened. But anyway, we do have a secondary marginal risk of severe weather today across portions of the Central Plains. We're mainly just going to be watching for a gusty wind threat for any thunder showers that develop, but definitely can't rule out for, any gusts getting of 50 to 55 miles an hour there. I really would doubt any severe limit gusts. Obviously not watching for any sort of tornado threat today, not really much of a hail threat either, because these are going to be LP supercells and thunder showers. So mainly just going to be watching out for some gusty winds there across that marginal risk today in the upper western Midwest. We do have winter storm warnings in effect for sections of the UP of Michigan. We're experiencing a lake effect winter storm right now across this area. Definitely going to see some areas with some more significant accumulation values there, considering that we are in the month of April. And we also do have winter weather advisories in effect for portions of upstate northern New York. I'm in Charleston, West Virginia, and it's getting dark from the clouds. Yeah, we've got this severe thunderstorm overhead, and what I'll tell you is if you are in downtown Charleston, West Virginia, I'd go ahead and get indoors and away from windows. It does look like this supercell is likely going to track right through the Charleston area, but it is weakening, so we'll see what happens. We did just get a severe thunderstorm warning for our line of storms that is developing near Maysville, Kentucky. This is for damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour and quarter-sized hail, so if you're in this area, make sure that you're moving indoors immediately. Do I think Day 5 could go enhanced? I think that it'll go enhanced, but I think it won't be until Day 1 or 2, because this is an environment where we're not super confident that this is going to be, any sort of major tornado outbreak yet. As per usual, there's been all that WX hype going on over on Twitter, but there's not necessarily any guarantee that we're going to see something major out of this event yet. Now, I will say, instability values, moisture, wind shear, everything looks quite impressive, but remember, we're still 5 days out and there is room to change. But what you should take away from this with this slight risk is that we definitely are going to be watching out for a significant severe weather threat here on Day 5. Whether it's damaging winds, large hail, or tornadoes, we don't quite know yet, but we'll start to get more information on that and bring you guys that information in the most accurate way possible over the next couple of days. Obviously, we've got that Day 4 slight risk as well that stretches across portions of the western Midwest here as well as the eastern plains. Now, I don't think that this is going to be anything crazy, but I do think that we are going to have to watch out for a couple of isolated tornadoes, and I've done my research here for quite a while now. I do think that our hot spot here is going to be northwestern Missouri and southwestern Iowa. It looks like we're going to have a corridor of elevated wind shear amounts as well as cape overlap, so definitely going to be looking out for the potential of a couple of severe thunderstorms and tornadoes out there in that area on Day 4, which would be Thursday. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,990 subscribers today. Mitch West meme? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be an outbreak, because we don't know that yet, but inside joke, guys. Whoa, 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 folks, ladies and gentlemen, the goats are back at it again. I'll explain what I mean here in just a second, but we did just get a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning for downtown Charleston for hail up to golf ball size. So if you are in this area, again, make sure that you're getting indoors and away from windows immediately. As we said, PA Storm Trackers just above my subscriber count there. You can see has some huge hail on their feed. We've been seeing that live from the surface, so we know that this is occurring even if the National Weather Service has this at a radar indicated tag. This is a huge hailstorm, and if you are in Charleston, you should be bringing your car indoors. You should be bringing yourself and your pets indoors, because this is actually a pretty destructive hailstorm that we're expecting to go likely downtown or just north of Charleston, West Virginia. But folks, the goats are back at it once again. Give me just a second. William and Allen. Hold on, guys. Gotta update the title here. Shoot. Okay, William and Allen with the donations through PayPal. Again, they never say anything about it. They're always so humble, but they're back at it again. They're back at it again, folks. Allen with the $50 donation and William with the $10 donation. Spam down those W's below for William and Allen. That's insane, folks. They're here every time. They're always goated. Again, at this point, we've gotten to the point where if I say the goats are back, you guys know who I'm talking about. I mean, that's insane. Everybody spam up those W's for William and Allen down below. Some of the most incredible people that I've ever met over the internet. They are legitimately some of the most generous people I've ever seen. So again, Allen and William, if you're in here, thank you guys so much. You guys have no idea how much that means to me. That's incredible. I mean, that's just insane. W, William, and Allen down below in the chat. That's crazy. I mean, that's insane. Holy cow, dude. I mean, that's crazy. Again, thank you guys so much. Again, donations are entirely optional, but I do very much appreciate everybody that donates, because it helps me know that this is going to be a career option for me in the future, and this is something that I've been doing for so long now, and it's just so much fun to me, and I'm glad that we get to help out other people in the process as well. But again, liking and subscribing helps out just as much. I just voice cracked again. I don't think that I've made that rule. I don't think that I've said if you donate, you get mod. That's never really been how it works. But, again, huge thank you to Allen and William. I should travel to different states and review the weather. I've gone through this topic quite a few times, but I've been to every state that I'm marking in a blue line here, I've been to. Or at least been through. So, we've done Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if I've been to Iowa or not. I'm sure I have at some point, though. But there you go. If I mark that down your state, let me know in the comments, or in the chat, rather. But 98% sure those are all the states I've been to. We did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning there for Rio Grande, Ohio, for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors immediately. It's a continuation here for our severe thunderstorm near the Portsmouth area that originally had some rotation with it. Okay. Wow, this is big. So we just got a report of hen egg-sized hail, according to the public, from Athalia, West Virginia. So the hail tag on this is legitimately lower than reports that we've received from the surface. That's insane. But if you are in downtown Charleston, you need to be prepared, because this is a huge, huge hailstorm. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. The towns of Hurricane and Milton are right next to each other. But again, this is a huge hailstorm here, guys. Again, we do have a couple enhanced pockets of velocity here, so damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour certainly can't be ruled out either. So again, if you're in this area, get indoors and away from windows immediately. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. This is a huge hailstorm for West Virginia standards. It's not really developing a hook, or at least not that we can confirm yet. It's kind of just a different feature of our severe thunderstorm here, the overall structure of it. But, I mean, this could be the beginning stages of a hook for sure. So we'll see what happens. I would hope not, though, because this is legitimately the worst time for that to happen. Because if you guys don't know, obviously this is not a very populated area. But the one big city that we do have out here in our hands for us today is Charleston, West Virginia. William. Let's go. William the Goat's back in the chat. Again, thank you so much, William, for the $10 dono, and Alan with the $50 donation. That is insane. Again, thank you guys so much. That's incredible. I genuinely can't even, like, comprehend, like, it really is so heartwarming to know that there's still people like that out there. Again, I don't feel like I deserve that, but I just can't thank you guys enough for it. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's insane, bro. I don't know if Mr. Storm's going live. Hashtag bring back John White. I'm not even kidding. I have not seen him since that day. And I never got the chance to truly thank him enough for what he did. He literally said all that happened was he stumbled upon my channel, dropped a $500 dono, stuck around for about 5 minutes, and left. I mean, that's the infamous David slipping over his chair clip, obviously, but I don't think that people quite understand how much that shocked me in that moment. I mean, that man, if he's still out there in the community, we've got to find him, guys, because that is the most generous person I've ever met. I mean, that's just insane. And it was for a good cause, too. Because, again, 50% of donos that stream went to the Yule Squad. But to this day, obviously, that is the top donation, because YouTube won't let you go over 500. I mean, that's insane, bro. No, we did have piano time, but she quit. People love the piano time. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry for your loss there, Ian. That's so sad. Well, I hope you're doing okay. I'll make sure to keep you guys in my prayers. That is really sad. Yeah. Is high school hard? Depends on if you want to be a good student or not. And it really all comes down to, if you are going to try, you will probably not have an issue. Really, I should be a better student than I am. But I've just got more important things to focus on in life. But again, don't take after me. Did I like PA? Yeah, I enjoyed PA. We went to Philadelphia. So we went very close to New Jersey, but we never did cross the river to go into New Jersey. What radar am I using? Like, what radar site or what radar app? If you're talking about the app, it's Radar Omega, available on iOS and Android. If you're talking about the specific radar site, we're using the Charleston, West Virginia radar right now. Checking in from southwestern Pennsylvania. What's going on, dude? Yeah, southwestern Pennsylvania, we are going to be watching mainly for a damaging wind threat. Would not rule out an isolated QLCS event occurring somewhere in southwestern Pennsylvania. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts. Not looking at too much of a tornado threat that far north, though. Again, if you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We are only one subscriber away from our goal for today. You know what? folks, let's set our goals high. 4,000. That's the subscriber goal for today. If we hit that, I will be ecstatic. I mean, it is unbelievable how fast this channel has been growing, and again, I can't thank you guys enough for that. I mean, that's insane. So this storm here continuing to develop a more impressive reflectivity. Look, every single scan. With that, what is likely a hook echo there. And again, unbelievably large hail core with this thing. Again, if you are in downtown Charleston, West Virginia, you got to be getting indoors and away from windows now. Because it is very likely that this is going to go through downtown Charleston. I mean, this is a huge hailstorm, guys. Again, I don't know why it took them so long to upgrade it to golf ball-sized hail. But we hit 4K by... Hey, we did it! 3,990. We are 10 subscribers away, guys. If we hit 4K by 4:30 p.m., I'll delete my channel. Do not do that. I have not played Alicity yet. I mainly have just stuck to Twisted in terms of storm chasing games. I mean, it's just peak. What stream did I fall out of my chair? I assume you're talking about the $500 donut stream. It sounded like W Community. The first one is the one where I flipped over my chair. 3,991. Guys, if we hit 4K tonight, I will be shocked. The support over the past few days has been crazy. Again, make sure to subscribe if you've not already. We do this every day for areas all across the country. I did not think that we would be hitting 4K tonight, but it's looking like a very real possibility, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Okay, yeah. We have a very clear velocity couplet developing down near St. Albans in West Virginia. If you are in this area, prepare to seek shelter, because I'd be willing to bet that very shortly we're going to see a tornado warning come out for this area. And again, either way, this is a tremendous hail core. I mean, this thing is unbelievable. No, I don't think that's a CC drop. That's due to a debris signature or anything, but I mean, this is either way a very concerning velocity signature. I don't think it's an LPCC, but it doesn't really line up perfectly. But again, either way, you shouldn't take this any less seriously. But yeah, if you look, the CC there is outside of the hook echo. So, most likely contaminated. You can see the little feature there in reflectivity too, that's contaminated. Excuse me. Guys, we are 5 subscribers. Oh, that was a horrible voice crack. We are 4 subs away from 4,000. I don't know how this is possible. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're gonna do it, guys. This is crazy. 3 away, 3 away. Mr. Twister, do not delete your channel, but just don't make bets like that in the future. Guys, oh my goodness. This is insane. We're 2 subs away. We are coming up on 4,000 subscribers. Oh my, we are 1 away, 1 away, 1 away. Oh my goodness. 3,999, 1 more. Literally 1 more. 4,000! We did it! Yes! Let's go! 4,000 subscribers! Yes! Yes! We did it! Yes! Guys, spam up those party emojis in the chat. 4,000 subscribers. Mr. Twister, do not do that. Do not delete your channel. We did it! Woo! 4K! Yes, sir! Let's go! Woohoo! We're gonna get a picture of that one. I can't believe we actually did it. I did not think we were going to hit that, like, even this month at the beginning of April. No! We went back under. No, he was trolling, he was trolling, he was trolling. Please, dude. Don't do this to me. Okay, anyway, that's awesome. Whew. So, whoa, okay. This is now a destructive storm. So it's time to get serious here. Once again, this is now a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. Shoot, I just dropped my glasses. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just very excited about that. So this is now actually a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. This isn't a Vincent prank. So if you are in this area, seek shelter immediately. Also warn for damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour, and it has that tornado possible tag. So again, if you're in this area, you need to run to your safe spot. How did we drop 4 subs? We dropped 5 subs. No. Might have a CC on that storm. I would doubt it. Because if you're talking about this feature that we had a couple scans ago, you can look. It is a reflectivity contamination error. But either way, very impressive hook echo feature there. All right, we're going to hit it over and under because this happens every time we hit a milestone. But in all seriousness, that is incredible, and I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, that's insane. Let's go, dude. I can't believe it. We're back over again. It's going to go over and under like 1,000 times. But, again, I really can't thank you guys enough for that. That's incredible. I don't know if you saw my reaction live, but if you did, you know I'm very happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and get a tissue really quick before we see something gross again. I will be right back. I'm just going to bring the whole box in here. Woo! That's crazy, though. 4,000 subscribers. That's insane. Again, whether you subscribe today or you've been subbed for 2 years, 5 years, however long we've had this channel, I really do appreciate it. I mean, you don't know how much that means to me that this is going to be a possibility for me to do in the future. That is a dream that I've had for so long, and it is so unbelievable and honestly somewhat emotional to see become real. I mean, that's crazy. That is genuinely insane. I really can't thank you guys enough. I mean, that's insane. Again, anybody that's wondering how to get big on YouTube, I wish I could give you something better to say than it takes time and it takes effort. You're not going to get to 4,000 subscribers in a day, a week, a month, a year even, most likely, even if you got the best content in the world. You have to take your time, but if you truly love what you're doing, you are going to get somewhere. So, obviously, can't thank you guys enough, very emotional, but we do now have a tornado warning in West Virginia, so it's time to get serious, unfortunately, once again. But again, that was insane. So I know we have some viewers watching from Charleston, West Virginia. Now is the time to get underground if you can. If you can't get underground, get on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, and in an interior room. This is a brand new tornado warning for Putnam, Kanawha, Clay, and Fayette counties. Seek shelter. This severe thunderstorm is currently rotating over the St. Albans area. This is going to be crossing I-64 within the next 5 minutes or so. Again, downtown Charleston, you need to be in your safe spot. So again, seek shelter if you're in this area. Alright. Again, no confirmation that this tornado is on the ground. I will tell you, again, PA Storm Trackers has a live look at that tornado-warned storm. Again, we had some crazy hail on their feet earlier. They're in Point Pleasant, which is a suburb of Charleston, I believe. Let's check it out, though. More in particular, Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Yes, that's just north of Charleston, actually. Again, I'm going to go ahead and get a screenshot, though, for the thumbnail here. Oh my goodness, the town of Tornado is under a tornado warning. That's insane. You know what, we're not going to do a screenshot for the thumbnail because I don't have time to set one up properly right now, so we're just not going to do it at all. Again, if you're in this area, you need to make sure that you're seeking shelter. We've been talking about this for the entire stream. So, again, this tornado warning is for Davis Creek, Charleston, and Big Chimney in western West Virginia. But again, 4,000 subs, that's insane. I can't thank you guys enough for that. I realize we're still on the PA Storm Trackers thing just now. So again, seek shelter. If you're traveling along I-64 here, near or in Charleston and between Marmet or Buffalo, you need to be getting off and seeking shelter, because this is an intense, severe thunderstorm that we believe has the capability to produce a tornado near downtown Charleston. Yeah, and again, if this does end up producing a tornado, this is going to be a huge deal, because this is going to go right into downtown Charleston if that happens. Again, even if that doesn't end up happening, huge hail just north of downtown Charleston, about to enter downtown Charleston here pretty soon. So if you're in Charleston, seek shelter. Big deal. Alrighty. So, again, our tornadic area of circulation right over Jefferson. Nice permit in my phone case. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, it's hard to see what's exactly going on here, but we can pinpoint an area of rotation near Jefferson. Again, very possible that this storm produces a tornado here very shortly. So seek shelter. Again, discrete supercell, really impressive environment. So they just updated that tornado warning. Or no, they didn't. Maybe they did, and it's going to revert here soon, but still radar indicated. Thank you, Stormwatchers Weather. Again, thank you guys so much for 4K subs. That's insane. I did not think whenever we started this stream that we would hit that tonight. Again, the goal originally was 39.90, and that was pretty steep looking even for tonight. So, hey, that's incredible, guys. Really is. So again, we're going to continue to watch this tornado warning storm move over Charleston as we speak here. Again, huge hail right now north of Charleston. Again, likely going to be approaching downtown Charleston here within the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're traveling along I-64 in between Institute or DuPont City, you need to be getting off and seeking shelter. Again, preferably underground. If you can't get underground, get on the lowest floor of its 30 building, away from windows and in an interior room. I know most of these homes out here don't have storm shelters or anything like that, but if you have a storm shelter, get in it. Now is the time. I know you guys don't deal with this too often, but... Whoa! Alan with another $10 dono. W. Allen's in the chat. Again, Alan, thank you so much for the $50 donation over PayPal. You are, again, unbelievable, Alan. I can't thank you enough for all the support that you've given this channel. Everybody spamming those W's for Alan for another $10 donation. W. Allen's in the chat, dude. Again, Alan is by far the top donor of all time. Incredibly generous. Alan's amazing. So show Alan that we love him in the chat. And that's insane. W's for Alan. Alrighty. So, continuing to watch the area of rotation approaching downtown Charleston, West Virginia. We do have a new mesoscale discussion. Vincent just sent me this. So, multiple supercells capable of producing large-scale damaging winds persist through the evening. The greatest threat for Lyme-sized hail or larger comes in the exact track of, you guessed it, our current destructive supercell. Again, they're mentioning that our hailstones here could potentially reach, very large intensity, between large apple all the way up to softball-sized hail. So, if you're in this area, be prepared. Again, we said this yesterday. In my opinion, hatched hail risk should have been added. But, no point in, clowning on what the National Weather Service and the SPC didn't do, because they obviously do a much better job than we do overall. And we love their work here, so. We do have some embedded rotation in our line of storms developing along the Ohio River near Concord. You watch Max Velocity, Weather with Sim, Davis and Ryan, as well as Mitch West. That's crazy because all of those people are people that I have watched for years now, and are, no matter who I discover, will always be my top few streaming / forecasters for severe weather events. So that's crazy that I'm included in that group for you. Thank you so much. Whoa, Severe Weather with the $4 dono. W Severe Weather in the chat. Another person that's incredibly generous and helpful. They're also a member. So again, throw those W's down below in the chat for the $4 donation. Everybody's just popping off today. Again, thank you guys so much. W Severe Weather's in the chat. Do not delete your channel, bro. Just don't make bets like that in the future. You like Mitch's voice? Yeah, he does have a pretty soothing, melodic voice. I remember, dude, over the summer I will always, this is a tradition now, that I will wake up and watch Mitch West's forecast before I do anything else, if there's not something super important going on that day. He is very in-depth. He knows his stuff. Awesome content creator. I don't think we've ever mentioned him on the stream here, but he's awesome. Thank you, Evan. New severe thunderstorm warning for a line approaching Portsmouth. Again, they do have the tornado possible tag on this one. They've also upgraded to $half sized hail, so if you're in this area, make sure you're moving indoors and away from windows immediately. And we pointed this out, but some pretty intense rotation developing near Vanceburg, Kentucky, and Quincy. Legitimately right along the Ohio River. So we'll see if they issue a tornado warning for this. I doubt it, because it's an embedded area of rotation. It doesn't have too many chances to become strong in this kind of environment, but I mean, if it does somehow produce something, it might legitimately be along the river, along the Ohio River, that is. So, anyway. Peace out, Mr. Storm. Bro has been grinding through his final exams recently. Anyway. Yeah, we've got Davis Creek, Tornado, Hurricane, and Milton. Near or in this tornado warning. So, it's funny, too, because our tornadic area of circulation It kind of did a velocity couple of handoff there, but if it didn't, it would legitimately be moving through. It still looks like we got something there. We have rotation in over Davis Creek and Joplin. Joplin as well. What is this? There's a Joplin, hurricane, Milton, tornado, Davis Creek. Like what? What is this? Huh? Yeah, that's a fake John White. But what is this, bro? No, John White is very real. He is an amazing person. He's a Davis's weather legend. He's a legend. The day he comes back will be a special day. I mean, today's already a special day, folks. We hit 4,000 subscribers. Again, you guys are incredible. Oh my gosh, I can't stop voice cracking for one sentence, and it's so annoying. Woo! But anyway, yeah. I know, bro showed up for the first time, donates $500 and says, "All right, see ya." What? It's crazy. Anyway. Again, for anybody wondering, we're continuing to see this tornado warning remain in effect here for downtown Charleston. The greatest hail threat, luckily, dodged downtown Charleston. When near Big Chimney and Edgewood. There's a good chance we're still seeing some hail in downtown Charleston, though. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you're staying in your safe spot. Again, our vertically integrated liquid signatures maxed out over multiple swaths. This is a crazy. I mean, that is mesmerizing. Again, this is our, I kind of call it a hail tracker, but this is a historic hail tracker scan. It looks like a little bird. Looks like a totem pole. Just short. Look at those wings. But yeah, God is good. God provides. Again, I cannot believe that we hit 4,000 subscribers. That's incredible. Still got that rotation tightening up near Vanceburg. I would not be shocked to see them issue a tornado warning for this. It's right over Highway 52. And again, this is legitimately going to ride the river here for a long time. So, again, if we had something on the ground, it would be on the Ohio River. It would be a water spout. So I guess it wouldn't technically be on the ground, but it's a totem of undying, it is. Yep. Anywhere. Roman, what's good? Alright, bro. We don't need to sing our ABCs. I know this song. No reports of any sort of any tornadic features with this storm from the surface, but again, whenever PA Storm Trackers was on this thing, they had some wicked hail. I mean, incredibly large hail. And again, it's still a huge hail core near Jarrett and Big Chimney. So if you are in this area, you need to be staying in your safe spot. Again, this is like one of the largest hail cores I've ever seen. We likely have a 10-mile wide swath of quarter-sized hail. And some of that L likely is still getting up to baseball size. Look at that. That is a historic vertically integrated liquid signature. 10-mile wide swath maxed out, even with how close we are to the radar. By the way, we are trying to make our December 9th documentary top tier. I've been reaching out to some folks asking if I can use their footage, trying to get it licensed for this documentary, so it's going to be a while until it comes out, but hear me when I say that will be the best video on my channel. I'm putting a lot of work into that one. A lot of work. So. Again, it is going to be far better than any other documentary video I've made. You know what? I would show a little sneak peek since we have 4K subs, but we kind of got a serious situation right now. Again, members already have the sneak peek. We do have a members-only trailer out for it right now. So. Again, if you would like to become a member, make sure to do so by clicking the button next to the chat. Get access to exclusive videos, early access to certain videos, and custom stickers used down below in the chat, as well as shoutouts at the end of every forecast. If some of you members want to show off your stickers, go right ahead. Again, I still can't believe that we have 4,000 subs. That's insane. I cannot thank you guys enough for that. I still believe that it is possible that we hit 10K subs by the end of the year. Determination and effort goes a long way, guys. So, anyway. I don't know why I keep zooming out and back in, but just waiting for our next scan here. It's been 4 minutes. That was another voice crack. Part of it, I'm gonna blame part on the fact that I'm sick right now. I'm partially sick anyways. Getting better, but reverse the sub count, still the same number. Yep, 4,004. Go and flip it around. Still 4,004. So, again, likely not a whole lot of rotation with this at this point, but it's kind of hard to tell because we're so close to the radar. So we'll see. It almost looks like we had a velocity couplet handoff, but at the same time, there's nothing really at all. So, looks like it tried to do a handoff and failed, I guess. Again, very clear rotation near Garrison, Kentucky now, along the Ohio River. Wow, look at that. You can see... Oh, my goodness. We do have a hail spike, by the way, on reflectivity. Not super intense, but is there. Bro, shut up. I'm 15 years old. I think I've mostly surpassed it by now. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued for our line in southeast Ohio right now. Again, this is going to be for parts of I-77 in between Ripley and Young. Some large hail damaging winds. Hail up to ping pong ball size there again. PA storm trackers above the sub count on that storm. So, pretty crazy. Eastman is an OG, bro. Yeah, I don't know why that's the topic of discussion, but I don't think that's something that we need to be talking about right now. Anyways, again, at this point, our storm here is losing all of its supercellular features, and this is typically what we see whenever a severe thunderstorm is about to go below severe thunderstorm limits. I would be willing to bet quite a bit that within the next hour, this is going to be a rain shower. So, again, tornado warning, it's still in effect now well east of Charleston. If you're in downtown Charleston, you're fine. But Blount and Fred Cup, Candelia, I guess stayed in your safe spot for a few more minutes here, but really nothing too impressive at this point from a velocity standpoint. There is an enhanced pocket of winds, but not necessarily rotation. So we'll see what this next severe thunderstorm warning tag is. I'm going to guess quarter-sized hail, and maybe damaging winds up to 60, but they may not even put a wind tag on it. Okay, well, just because a topic is true doesn't mean it needs to be discussed. There are some very dark things in history that are true that we don't need to discuss right now. Anyways, again, at this point, our rotation with our storm along the Ohio River is way more impressive. So we'll continue to watch this. I don't know, Mr. Twister. I don't really pay attention to that kind of stuff. I think the only managing mods I have are like Mr. Storm, Levi Jesse, all the Chasers, Sam, and Alan, I think. That sounds about right. Funnel on top of Corey Durkin. Unfortunately, we can't bring up his stream live, but I'm going to look at that. Let's see. Somebody's clickbaiting in the chat. They're saying PDS. That's not really a clickbait, but look bait. Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Okay, so we do have a funnel cloud now with this, or at least some big old SLCs. Yeah, that's a funnel cloud. So again, if you're in this area, stay in your safe spot. It's starting to dissipate, but Corey had a brief funnel there. About an eighth of the way to the ground. Actually, it's still there. Okay. Alright. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you're... I guess they canceled the tornado warning. But I think if they were watching what was happening at the surface, they'd probably continue it. He's on Other Storm? He's in the Portsmouth Storm. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Again, this is the storm that's actually developing some concerning rotation. Near Garrison and Quincy, and also potentially a secondary area there near Portsmouth. The only reason I'm going to say that is because there's multiple radar sites showing that. New severe thunderstorm warning for damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour and a $half sized hail. If you're in this area, make sure moving indoors and away from windows immediately. That is for the Ohio River between Oak Hill and Wurtland in Ohio and Kentucky. Your sirens? If you're the person that was in downtown Charleston, Charleston is fine now. But if there are actually sirens going off, they're just going off very late. Again, still got some broad rotation there near Quincy and Letitia. I'm pretty impressed with our storm along the Ohio River right now. Let's see here. Again, if we do see something happen with this Portsmouth storm, it's likely going to be rain wrapped at this point. But it's kind of embedded supercell at this point, embedded in our QLCS here. But it's trying. Approaching York and Load. I would look out. I wouldn't be shocked if they Tor warn this pretty shortly. If they're going to do it, it's going to be very soon. Okay. Again, unfortunately, we can't bring up Corey's feed on our stream, but yeah, I saw that. Riley Dibble is joining Max Velocity now, but it was no ill will between him and Ryan. I just want to make that clear. He made that very clear, because obviously there's going to be so many conspiracy theories when something like that happens. Okay, very clear, intense rotation now near Franklin Furnace along the Ohio River in between Kentucky and Ohio. If you're in this area, I'd be seeking shelter. Again, we have had a couple visuals on a brief funnel cloud. We've also had consistent strong rotation, getting even stronger now at this point. Yeah, I know it's a joke, but some people will not take it that way, unfortunately. Have the fan rung in Western PA. Yeah, it's pretty warm out here, which is one of the things prompting our severe weather threat for today, is all that moisture. If we go ahead and turn on the temperatures, though, we can see out there in southwestern Pennsylvania right now, we're looking at temps in the mid-70s, which, for this time of year, not too shabby. I don't know why I said it like that, but I did. So that new severe thunderstorm warning there, an extension for a storm that was previously tornado warning near Charleston, golf ball-sized hail, and damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour near Summersville and Craigsville. If you're in this area, make sure you are moving indoors and away from windows immediately. Well, that is a certain level of moisture, because it's not naturally going to be in the low 50s for dews this far north. I believe PA Storm Trackers is on our Point Pleasant storm here still. But again, we do have Corey Gherkin on our Portsmouth storm. Again, unfortunately, we can't bring him up on the stream, though. But again, he at least briefly had a couple visuals of a funnel. Yeah, so he is right now in West Portsmouth, Ohio. So I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom, actually. But we're going to keep this up on your screen. We actually are going to go ahead and full screen PA Storm Trackers. But I will be back in a few minutes here. Okay, yeah. So our rotation continuing there. Before I go, rotation continues near Letitia. Still quite intense, so if you're in this area, you can get ready to take shelter. So I would imagine this will be Tor warned here within the next few minutes. Okay. So we'll go ahead and throw a BRB on the screen. And as that BRB says, I will be right back. So stay tuned in. We will be back within the next, I'd say, 3 minutes or so. And just like that, we are now back. Alrighty. So, again, continuing to watch this rotation intensify, approaching Franklin Furnace, Ohio, if you are just now tuning in. Oh, that was a bad voice crack again. Again, watching a localized severe weather outbreak currently occur right in this regional area of the eastern Ohio Valley / northern Appalachia. Wouldn't be shocked if these supercells to the west do develop a little bit further. Showing some pretty impressive signs of intensification here, and they're going to merge, so... Again, looking at the HRRR model, we can see that we're going to be watching for these storms to continue to develop here over the next couple of hours. And by 6 p.m., a couple of supercells could pop up right across kind of the eastern Kentucky and western Virginia area there. And that could potentially promote a brief tornado threat. But remember, our wind shear values are quite abysmal down there. By 8 p.m., that would be 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be watching for the tornado threat to continue, but be very close to its end there across eastern Kentucky and western Virginia at this point. By 9-10 p.m., I think we're pretty much done with any sort of tornado threat. And that's whenever a damaging wind threat starts to become more noticeable across southern West Virginia especially. So, anyways. So at this point, we're starting to enter a very small radar hole. It's not a super intense one, but somewhat of a radar hole here in eastern Kentucky. Again, all these supercells that we've had so far have traveled through it. So it's going to be very hard to see any sort of rotation with our severe thunderstorm. Again, I mean, this is crazy. Like, Portsmouth, Ohio, smacked by our first supercell, hit by our second, and then now getting hit by our third one here. All within the past 2 hours. Did I wash my hands? Yes. Yeah, please, try to keep this a little bit more serious than that. Um, so again, back up here into Iowa, watching some little showers convect, some gusty little thunder showers here. So, again, mainly just going to be looking for some wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles an hour. Again, very low precipitation cells out there. So you're going to have to look out for really any sort of threat other than some gusty winds. If you're just not tuning in, make sure to like the stream. Let's see if we made 100 likes this stream. We're at 63 currently. Let me see if... Okay, never mind. Again, I still cannot thank you guys enough for 4,000 subscribers. I'm going to say it a million times this stream, but it really is incredible. That's crazy. So, the Storm Prediction Center does have a new mesoscale discussion out, mentioning that damaging winds and large hail will be a possibility as these storms continue to travel further eastward in the eastern sections of western Virginia and northern sections of Virginia. As we pointed out earlier, a severe thunderstorm watch will likely be issued for these areas within the next hour or so as supercells continue to approach. The main threats here, damaging winds up to 80 miles an hour, hail up to golf ball size. So be on the lookout if you're in this area. Okay, there's your 50-degree dew point line. So, again, not too much moisture or instability in this environment, which is going to heavily limit a tornado threat, but also cells are elevated, not a whole lot of shear. There's various reasons that Virginia... Oh my goodness, I can't stop voice cracking for 5 seconds. There's various reasons that... what am I saying? I give up. There's various reasons that Virginia is not really going to have too much of a tornado threat. I don't know why it took me 13 attempts to say that sentence, but... Davis, I just want one favor for you to read my message and use the thumbnail I made you. I didn't realize you made me a thumbnail. Did you send it to me? Let me know where it's at. I really don't even know if we want a thumbnail for this stream, though. But I appreciate it. But anyway, if you're just not tuning in, make sure to like and subscribe. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Again, this is a live look at PA storm trackers. They are currently in Culloden, West Virginia on our Ohio River supercell, one of our Ohio River supercells. Get rid of that big old BRB. Davis's voice cracks. Funny. No, it is pretty funny. I'm just salty. So again, had some pretty huge hailstones on their stream earlier, likely of golf ball size or larger, with our supercell that hit Charleston. We do have reports of golf ball sized hail from Charleston, by the way, along Morris Street in downtown Charleston. Again, as we said, even though we didn't have a clear reflectivity presentation of hail over Charleston at that point, that's just because we're so close to the radar site, so very likely that we did still have some hail move through Charleston in the downtown area. Alrighty. So continue to watch broad rotation over Franklin Furnace and Greenup, Kentucky, as well as Ohio. the West Virginia Great Hailers as they were. No, this is going to be the exact moment Davis Does Weather hit 4,000 subscribers as it happened for my channel. And you already know, bro, we're going to cook up a 4,000 awesome people video because it has to be done. It has to be done. It's a tradition now. We did 2,000 awesome people, 3,000 awesome people. We have to do 4,000 awesome people. I still can't believe we have 4,000 subscribers. That's insane. Again, it's just crazy to think, and I can't thank you guys enough for it, that this is slowly becoming a reality of something that I can do in the future as a career. Again, that is something that I will never be able to pay you guys back for with any amount of coverage. Because this is, again, what I would be doing in my free time if I didn't do it for money. I don't do it for money, but I'm saying if in the future I had a job that I got money from, this would be what I would do in my free time. So the fact that I can do this, which is what I love, helping people and make a career out of it at the same time is incredible. What's up, AJ? I realized that kind of sounded bad whenever I phrased it first when I said, if I didn't do it for money, that's not what I meant. Davis Does Weather exposed. He only does it for the money. You know, there's allegations like that, and I'm just like, dog, I make like $2 a video. I'm not doing it for the money. And again, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I highly appreciate it all. Even if I was making $0, I still wouldn't be able to comprehend the amount of support that I get from you guys. And it's all thanks to you guys, and I never want you to forget that. But the allegations that I do this for money are insane. Like, that is crazy. I did it for 4 years without making any money. Yeah, we talked about that just a minute ago, Evan. Dude, thank you, AJ. Yeah, it's crazy. I still can't thank you guys enough for 4,000 subs. New severe thunderstorm warning north of Charleston, West Virginia for quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. This is the storm that PA storm trackers are on right now. Yeah, Max has been live for, I want to say 30 to 45 minutes. Oops. Tastes like a burger. Alrighty. I should get like a soundboard with a button that I can just press and it'll say that. That'd be insane. So, again, sorry I keep zooming out. Excuse me. But thank you, Sandra. I don't feel like I do, but and again, this kind of goes along with what I said earlier. It doesn't matter what your dream is. If you run with it and you try your hardest to make something out of it, it will happen. It may take you, a week, a month, a year, a decade. It will happen at some point. God's got your back. I don't think we'll go day 4 enhanced just because there's too many uncertainties. Again, things can change a lot. So, unless there was like a clean setup for a major tornado outbreak, usually they don't throw out day 4 through 8 enhanced risks. That's not necessarily been the case recently, but I do think that the greatest threat for severe weather on the day 5 outlook would likely come somewhere in the Central Plains. So if we do see an enhanced risk upgrade, it will likely be somewhere in this region. But again, that's subject to change. But again, for the day 4 outlook, the target zone, for me at least, if I was chasing, I would throw it northwest Missouri, southwest Iowa as a starting location. A lot of wind shear. That's what I'll say for the day 4 event. So new severe thunderstorm warning there for a storm that originally impacted Charleston. Continuing with the golf ball size tail and damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour tag. That's going out for parts of Highway 219 for Cordova, Clearco, and Trainer in West Virginia. That still feels so crazy to look at my username and see 4K next to it. That's insane. Oh, that feels weird. Wow, look at this. Okay, so this is a live look from PA Storm Trackers. Incredible view of that storm structure there near Culloden, West Virginia. Again, I believe that is our storm in between, or the middle one, if that makes sense, out of the 3 that we've really been watching pretty closely. Yeah, so this is the one that is going to be approaching downtown Charleston here pretty shortly, or at least the north of Charleston. Our supercell off to the west, continuing to show some signs of rotation there on the velocities near Lawrence. Not quite as impressive, though, obviously. Alrighty. So. Okay. Again, continuing to watch an enhanced pocket of winds on our storm north of Charleston. But at this point, if our supercell near Ironton can become discrete, good chance that tries to do something. But again, it totally embedded in our line, but it's slowly but surely starting to lose that feature. So there's a good chance that this tries to become further discrete and produce a tornado here as it moves off to the east-southeast. I'm not even going to lie. I'd said on X earlier my target zone would be east-central Kentucky. I'm sticking with that. Because a lot of these supercells that we've been seeing along the Ohio, while they are huge hail events, none of them have really brought us too much impressive rotation. Our supercell along the Ohio River was pretty impressive for a while when it was near Portsmouth. And then, obviously, rotation was briefly impressive near Charleston, but again, these are elevated storms, so tornado threat in general is pretty limited. But again, we'll see if this manages to become fully discrete here. I don't think it will. But if it does, we could have a problem. So, alright. We'll bring up PA Storm Trackers again here for a minute. Again, crazy look from the surface there. Again, this is not a good chaser terrain by any means. It's a beautiful one, but not an easy one. So, it's going to be hard to keep up with some of these storms today. And that's only going to get worse as you go into eastern Kentucky. Again, as we said earlier, some of our supercells further off to the west are developing further. Not necessarily supercells yet, but are thunderstorms. I think that'll continue to happen here. Mainly going to be looking out for some hail and wind with those, as we said. $5,000 gape in Texas on hour 222. What does GFS show for that? Because we can't look at Cape on the Euro on Omega. Let's see. Again, this is all for fun, guys. You should not take this seriously at all. Can't even hit hour 222 yet on the 18Z. But again, it shows a pretty impressive signal there for some CAPE across the Central Plains on our Friday event, which is what makes me think this is going to be the area that goes enhanced, if there is a day 4 enhanced when we wake up tomorrow. But again, here are your winds at the 850 millibar level. Again, you can see they're also going to be pretty impressive there across the Central Plains. So, good chance at a pretty large severe weather event late this week. If I was chasing Kansas City, that's where I'd target. Again, right there outside of our day 5 slight risk, but it's in between the day 4 and day 5. So, suppose the dry line could be further east of Kansas City, but again, hoping to get some good footage for you guys out here in Illinois. But storm is looking to be scattered supercellular for Friday, yeah. I mean, there is a good chance that this is the plains outbreak of the year. You know, you've always got that one plains outbreak of the year. There's multiple plains outbreaks, but the impressive one, as everybody will refer to it as. Last year, it was April 26th through 27th. 2023 wasn't a huge year for the plains, I'll be honest. But 2022 also wasn't huge for the plains. 2022 was just kind of a lackluster year in general. But you did have your winter set tornado on March 5th. Tim Marshall, thank you for tuning in. That's great. Interesting. So that is most likely airborne. The Diaz Denter. Oh my goodness, that's criminal. Dude. Well, if you look back at his past messages, he was asking about Huntsville, and we all know that our boy Airborne resides there. So, sorry, Mr. Marshall. The Diaz Denter. Oh my goodness. I'm not even going to comment on that. That is crazy. Can I show you Princeton, West Virginia on the live map? I got you. Princeton, West Virginia. So, you are under our severe thunderstorm watch. Now, what that means is that conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms over the next few hours in your area. I'm thinking you're probably mainly just going to have to look out for some sort of wind threat. Again, these are going to be elevated supercells. You have to keep that in mind. So any sort of tornado threat's quite limited with that. Wouldn't rule out an isolated tornado around 8 or 9 p.m., potentially as late as 10 p.m. in this area, but mainly going to be looking out for some wind. And there's a good chance that your specific town dodges all of it, because we're dealing with a cellular storm mode instead of a linear mode. So you may end up seeing nothing, or you may end up seeing something very significant. Again, if you are new here, make sure to click that subscribe button. We do this every day for areas all across the country. Dude, I know that's airborne. That's got to be airborne. I mean, okay, yes. For anybody that's not aware, that's not Tim Marshall. But the question is, who is it that's pretending to be Tim Marshall? 99.99% sure that's either airborne or Boardness Gaming. But this seems like an airborne thing to me. Okay, look at this. You can see our line merge there with a couple of supercells developing in Kentucky. We'll see what that does. You just moved to Huntsville. Okay. Moore's going to get slabbed this year. So again, this is a live look from PA Storm Trackers. Today they're the West Virginia Storm Trackers, though. Really, I feel like they should just call themselves the Northern Appalachian Trackers. They're all over the place in Northern Appalachia whenever there's an event. More best I can do is EF 4.9. This concrete was actually paper. So, we're just going to have to, give it an EF -1 reading. Again, potentially some broad rotation they're trying to develop after our supercells merged. Wow, it is airborne. I knew it. Yep. It's Tim Marshall. It's crazy. The Moore monster. Oh gosh. Alrighty. So, again, we're going to continue to watch our QLCS, as well as our supercell near Summersville. Again, PA Storm Trackers is off to the west here, near Charleston, but our supercell that originally prompted a tornado warning for Charleston, West Virginia, is starting to hook out again. So, we'll see what happens. And very heavily contaminated, but we do have a signature of at least an elevated pocket of winds, but likely some weak rotation trying to develop with this supercell at the moment. Roanoke radar. That is a crazy look, actually, from the Roanoke radar. Look at that hook. See, our supercell's trying here again. That's for sure. Dude, Tim, you would be rich then. No, I don't want to make fun of Tim Marshall. I've met Tim Marshall in real life. He's awesome. New reflectivity scan. Again, we're going to continue to watch this here. So it continues to try to rotate. It feels weird doing these, streams now where realistically we're probably gonna only end up at like 2.5 hours, because for the past like 2 weeks or so we have had an unbelievable stretch of live streams outside of the past week. So I guess the past month, not including the past week. So the 3 weeks before the last week. Does that make sense in any way? Bro, this printer. Chat, we are almost at 4,010 subscribers. Let's do it. Let's see if we can hit 4,020 this stream. That would be incredible. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for 4K. That's awesome. I cannot believe that we are at that point. Thank you. Yep. Alright. It's gonna go again here in like 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Yep. Okay. Totally win again. Alright. So my gosh. Can you just say a word without cracking your voice? They just condensed our severe thunderstorm warning. No upgrades or anything like that. No tour possible tag yet. Dude, even Tim Marshall's making fun of my voice cracks in 2025. That's crazy. Again, I'm still pretty impressed here with our supercell near Scotttown. This is the one that we've been watching for a while now that's been traveling along the Ohio River. Had a brief funnel cloud near Portsmouth. So we'll see what happens. It is managing to become somewhat discreet because it's having a merger. So if that is a constructive merger, not a destructive one, and this cell continues to stay discreet without too many more mergers, we could have at least a brief chance where this supercell has a heightened potential of producing at least a brief tornado. So bro, what is this? Alright. No hairline jokes. Oh my goodness. So again, potentially a heightened chance of this supercell producing a tornado here over the next 30 minutes or so, as it approaches Milton and Hurricane, as well as Charleston, once again. Clarksville, Tennessee finally chilled out for a while, yeah. That goes for the entirety of the mid-Mississippi Valley. And watching some gusty showers across Iowa right now. Potential of downing a couple of branches, maybe knocking out power for a few customers. But keep in mind, these are LP thunder showers. So, you're not going to see anything but wind, really. That's not always the case with LP storms, but it is with these. So, make that clear. I was literally just about to make the Greenfield joke that you just made. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Again, if you're not tuning in, we are watching a discrete supercell that's going to try to produce a tornado here pretty soon near Crown City, Ohio. Very discreet. It's got an environment to work with. It's still an elevated supercell, but we'll see. It's not impossible. And we're also seeing that hook echo become more defined and more prominent on our storm near Richwood, the one that originally impacted Charleston. What's up, Sydney? Yeah, Storm Tracker's stream is frozen for some reason. Alright, there we go. I guess it's not frozen. It was behind by like a minute and a half, though, which is weird. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't think we have any other chasers out there today that we can use. Can we stop with the Tim Marshall jokes, in all seriousness? Alright, so new reflectivity scan here. Our merger looks like it may have killed our rotation with our storm near Scottstown. Still got a, again, a definite chance of seeing something here with our supercell near Hillsboro, right up along the West Virginia state line. New severe thunderstorm warning for Crown City for that discrete cell. They do now have the tornado possible tag on it. So if you are in this area, make sure that you are moving indoors and away from windows. Some ping pong ball sized hail also possible with that one. Wind tag's been downgraded to 60 miles an hour. Originally this was a line of storms. Again, now it's just a supercell. So decreased wind threat, obviously. Again, I'm watching our storm approaching Covington quite closely here. Why do I still have the 250 loop on? I feel like I've turned that off like 15 times. I'm watching our storm approaching Covington because this one has quite an environment to work with. It's entirely discrete, but again, it's an elevated storm. So the chances of it producing a tornado are limited by that fact, but they're not zero. Wow, look at that new reflectivity scan. Yeah, this thing is hooking out pretty impressively. I want to see this next velocity scan, but I mean, this is pretty impressive. We got the piano and the printer going at the same time. I mean, this is just great. Clear area of inflow there. Again, unfortunately, we do not have any chasers on this storm. I don't even know if we have any spotters out here. I mean, we can check it out, but I don't think we do. How do we look at those again? Spotters, where are you? We do not have any spotters out here. So, new severe thunderstorm warning east of Spencer for damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour and quarter-sized hail. Yeah, this could be a pretty big deal here. Pretty quickly. So again, this is right up along the West Virginia state line. It's crazy to think this is the same storm that impacted Charleston less than an hour ago. This thing is racing off to the southeast, moving east-southeast at 60 miles an hour. 65 miles an hour, rather. I don't know about it dropping a strong tornado. The environment's not really there for that, but a brief tornado definitely can't be ruled out. And we're starting to get into another area with pretty poor radar coverage here, so... Bro, airborne. You're actually so crazy. Again, if we're gonna see something tornadic, it's probably going to be in eastern Kentucky tonight. Again, all of our storms are going to be elevated today, but the environment, as well as convection type, is going to be a little bit more impressive here in eastern Kentucky, and that could potentially bring us a more impressive tornado threat. Not a whole lot, William. We got a couple of cells trying to do something, but they're not succeeding very well. Again, these have just been, like, shredded in half today by the storm mode. Okay, so they did literally just throw out a tornado warning now for a storm in West Virginia for Cordova. So if you're in this area, seek shelter immediately. This is for Greenbrier and Pocahontas counties. We need you to get on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows and in an interior room. Let me go and update the stream title here. Alrighty. So you can seek shelter if you are in Cordova or Clearco in West Virginia. Again, obviously not a very populated area at all, but, alright. Give me just a sec here, updating the title and everything. So, again, we don't have any chasers out here on this storm, but we believe that this is going to have the possibility to produce a tornado within the next, half hour or so. So if you're in this area, make sure that you are seeking shelter immediately. Again, not a hugely populated area, but... So, again, looking at this from the Roanoke radar here, we actually do have a pretty decent look at our velocity couplet. Again, likely right now that our rotation is somewhere south of Clearco. Again, pretty impressive there, near Grassy Knob. This is obviously a very high layer of the atmosphere, though. So... we'll see what happens with this. Again, we've got to see if those winds are going to translate to the surface or not. That's really all it is. These are the velocities at the Tilt 2 on our Charleston radar. Very similar to Tilt 1. Just a little bit stronger. Again, the better way to view this rotation here is going to be by the Roanoke radar. Again, rotation right over Grassy Knob at the moment. Quite broad, but still somewhat strong. Certainly, Kevin. And William. So again, this is the supercell to watch at this point. We could go in double box. I just know that that's not going to last for 5 minutes because I'm so jittery on the radar. Maybe this will stop me, though, if I force myself to sit here. So, I guess you guys can't even see the reflectivity like this, can you? Shoot. Yeah, double boxing doesn't really work anymore. Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty impressive looking supercell. Again, we got a better look at it from the Roanoke radar than anything else. Less mountain penetration would be one thing, I guess, because obviously You still got mountains out here, but they're not quite as, they're not going to mess with the radar at this height, I wouldn't imagine, but the ones east of Charleston, very possible. So again, that rotation, continuing there, approaching Cordova. So if you're in this area, we need you to remain in your safe spot on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, away from windows, in an interior room. Again, preferably a bathroom or a basement. Okay, not a super clear area of inflow anymore. Still there, though. But good chance this is another storm where as soon as they issue the tornado warning, rotation weakens. Keep zooming out. Need to stop. Just sit still, Davis, for like 5 seconds. Okay. Now, you're not going to see a CC drop from this distance. There's no CC drop. If we saw a CC drop from this distance, that would be concerning of a violent tornado. Because you have to keep in mind, we are 75 miles away from the radar. Forget we can just do Control V to look at velocities, or is it Shift V? That's what it is. Yeah, it's not impossible that it's on the ground, but if it does touch down, we're not going to see a CC drop with it. Because we are very far away from our nearest radar site here. This isn't even the nearest radar site, but it's the best one to look at, and very soon it's going to be the nearest radar site. Okay, this just isn't a great radar coverage zone, and there's not a lot we can do about that. So our rotation continues for Cordova. Well, this one's weirdly shaped because you're in the middle of two different National Weather Service offices. This is Charleston, West Virginia, but if you go any further, it's Blacksburg. Or I guess this is still Blacksburg. Yeah, it's weird then. Huh. Yeah, I will, we're not just going to end if this cell doesn't do anything, unless I have to go, which is a pretty good possibility soon. But, we've still got plenty of time for something to happen. And the people that are calling this a bust do that for every event. Sorry about earlier. I remember you got timed out. Oh, no, it's fine. It's just, we're kind of in a serious time right now. So. Well, it's somewhat of a radar hole. It's a radar hole in the sense that we can't see a CC drop if it were to touch down, unless it was very deep. It's also a radar hole from a reflectivity standpoint, but velocities we can see. So, that's good. Make sure to like the stream if you've not already. Trying to hit 100 likes this stream. Okay. Am I crazy for saying that Lake City could have had gusts up to 200 miles an hour at its peak? I want your guys' opinion. Because I said that and people are like freaking out. I don't feel like that's that crazy of a claim, but... No, it was not airborne. I don't believe so, anyways. New severe thunderstorm warning just issued for golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That is for our Samstorm here. Yeah, I guess they can't go into Pocahontas County here because that is Charleston, West Virginia's area. Their National Weather Service office. Well, and that's what I'm saying. We have not seen a horizontal vortice like that in so long. And, okay, I'm going to get this out of the way. A horizontal vortice in of itself is not entirely a feature of strength. Because if it was, then every violent tornado in history would have a horizontal vortice like that. The horizontal vortice was a feat of strength along with other factors. However, it's still impressive. It still caused extreme damage in an area where there wasn't a whole lot of damage to be caused. And I just everything that we know points to the fact that Lake City was very likely, had the potential at least to max at 200-mile-an-hour gusts. Yeah, I mean... It was the younger brother of Tuscaloosa. And the last time we saw a horizontal vortice like that was literally Tuscaloosa, Birmingham. So, I don't know why I called it a vortice, but I did. I feel like I should have gone EF4. Well, the structures out there obviously aren't very well constructed because those are poor rural communities in northeast Arkansas. But, still pretty impressive. Well, it's partially a feature of strength, though, because otherwise every tornado in an extremely sheared environment would have that. But you're not going to see that kind of action with, a little baby rope tornado. New severe thunderstorm warning for the north side of Charleston. Once again. Another supercell making its way through. Make sure you're moving indoors and away from windows. Where are my subs dropping fast? Holy cow, they did. Did I say something controversial? Is it the 200-mile-an-hour statement? I think that's what it was. No. Dude, they drop so fast. I think it's just people want to get you over the mark, and then once you hit it, they don't really care as much anymore. Yeah, in the past 5 minutes, we've dropped 10 subs. We're under 4,000. Is this a troll? Please do not troll me. Please. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. Uh, 11. Now people are just trolling, I think, but it's crazy. Like I said, this happens every time we hit a milestone. But hopefully by the end of this stream, we'll be at a solid 4K. We do have a couple of supercells developing further in central Kentucky, by the way. Dude, we dropped another one. I think because I pointed it out now, people are trolling, but... Still some pretty intense rotation over White Oak Grove. So again, if you're in this area, make sure that you are staying in your safe spot. At this point, our rotation is pretty much outside of our tornado warning polygon, so I wouldn't be shocked if they extended it to do something like this. But... Well, and I also had this discussion. In my opinion, Lake City does not stand up to the strength of Tuscaloosa, Birmingham in any way. Of anything that we know, it was not stronger than Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, based off of what we know about both tornadoes. Is it impossible that it was stronger? No, but very unlikely. All right, see you, William. Hope you're doing all right. Well, again, Northeast Arkansas just doesn't really have too many well-built structures. This entire region doesn't, which is the same reason that we saw Mayfield get rated in the F4. The mid-Mississippi Valley, very rural, not typically super well-constructed homes or businesses. But Matador met the EF5 criteria. Well, it also moved at about 0.0000000000000000001 miles per hour. So it's a Gerald situation. If Matador counted as an EF5, then by that standard that we're setting, I feel like Gerald would have been considered the strongest tornado of all time. But it wasn't. Now, do I think Gerald was underrated? Certainly. But when I say underrated, I don't mean by the National Weather Service. I mean by the general consensus, because everybody believes that because it was slow moving, it capped at 200, 250 at peak wind gusts. I just don't believe that to be true. You don't see that level of ground scouring unless you have an extreme tornado. Gerald was... it's so hard to pinpoint, but in my opinion, Gerald probably capped at around 280, 290 mile an hour gusts, maybe a little higher. But without a doubt, in the top 10 strongest tornadoes in the past, 50 years. In the top 5, if you're talking past 50 years, to be honest. Anyway, chat, unfortunately I do have to end off the live stream here. It's so sad that we went under 4K again. Can we just hit it again before we end off the stream, please? Please, don't troll me. We're 3 off, guys. Please. Please. We've lost like 15 subs in the past 10 minutes. I agree with that, Airborne. But at the same time, El Reno, obviously, because it was a super-duper rural area, we can't confirm exact strengths. But again, Dow recordings and various other things do point to the fact that El Reno was within the top 5 within the past 5 years or so. We're not going to hit 4K before we end off again. Well, that said. But anyway, we're going to end off the live stream here. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, thank you. Oh my goodness, I can't stop voice cracking. Thank you all so much for 4,000 subscribers. That's insane. Again, there will be a video out tonight talking about that further. But anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. What's the last word I usually say? Peace.